Hi friends, it's Joan at 10 Pentacles Tarot, back with another 2 for You book review. And today's books are on about ghosts or communicating with people who have passed on, let's say that, who are on the other side. All right, so these are both excellent books. The first one is by Kathleen McConnell, and it's called Don't Call Them Ghosts, The Spirit Children of Fontaine Manse, A True Story. Now this is my favorite all-time, up to this point, my favorite all-time ghost story. All right, so let me tell you what it's about. A true ghost story that will give you chills and warm your heart. In 1971, Kathleen McConnell and her family moved into a historic home known as the Fontaine Manse. 2 days after moving in, she and her husband had an extraordinary experience that left them with no doubt that unseen residents occupied the house too. This is the true story of how Kathleen McConnell came to know and care for the spirit children who lived in the attic of the mansion, Angel Girl, Buddy, and the baby. From playing ball with Kathleen to saving her son Duncan from drowning, the spirit children became part of the McConnell family in ways big and small. Finally, a heart-wrenching decision triggered an unexpected and dramatic resolution to the spirit children's plight. Don't Call Them Ghosts is the inspiring story of the transcendent and lasting power of a mother's love. A mother's love. All right, so when I bought this book, it was $13.95 in the U.S., $15.95 in Canada. It's published by Llewellyn Worldwide. I'll include that information in the description box as well. Kathleen McConnell is from Kentucky. She lived with her family in the haunted Fontaine Manse for 5 years in the Louisville, Kentucky area. So if you're from Louisville, this is the real deal, dude. Okay, it tells you how to write to the author. And I'm not going to tell you a lot more about the book because I really want you to read it if it's interesting to you, and I don't want to ruin it. So the sixth printing, this is the sixth printing of the first edition, and it was published in 2007. Now, I know that this book is still around because I see it all the time. I've seen it in the regular bookstore, I've seen it in the half-price bookstore, and I'm sure it's online. But again, this is Don't Call Them Ghosts, The Spirit Children of Fontaine Manse, A True Story by Kathleen McConnell. And I so recommend this book to you if you like ghost stories or paranormal stories. All right. Now, the second book is called The Afterlife of Billy Fingers, How My Bad Boy Brother Proved to Me There's Life After Death. And this is by Dr. Annie Kagan, forward by Dr. Raymond Moody. And James Van Prague writes, Billy is your perfect guide. And so, a few weeks after his death, William Cohen, a.k.a. Billy Fingers, woke his sister Annie at dawn. I'm drifting weightlessly through these glorious stars and galaxies, and I feel a divine presence, a kind, loving, beneficent presence twinkling all around me. Billy's ongoing after-death communications take his sister on an unprecedented journey into the bliss and wonder of life beyond death. Billy's profound, detailed description of the mystical realms he traverses, the beings of light that await him, and the wisdom he receives take the reader beyond the near-death experience. Billy is indeed, as Dr. Raymond Moody points out in his foreword, explaining the phenomenon we've known about since ancient times. He's an afterworld walker. All right. So to quote Billy, if I could give you a gift, it would be to find the glory inside yourself beyond the roles in the drama, so you can dance of the game of life with a little more rhythm, a little more abandon, a little more shaking those hips. All right, and this book was $16.95 when I got it. And let's look at the publisher. So this is published by Hampton Roads Publishers, and this was copyright 2013 by Annie Kagan. This is another book I totally recommend to you. There are 3 parts to it. Part 1 is called Still Billy. Part 2, Even the Soul Changes. And Part 3, From Soul to Spirit. Now, I'm going to read you a little bit of the foreword because I know that some of you may be thinking, yeah, right. You know, people, when they die, they don't communicate with us. But you know what? I ask you to keep an open mind. And if you're even a little bit interested, I recommend these books. And no one's paying me to do this. I just think these are excellent books, both of them. The foreword to this one says, this fascinating book may initially surprise and baffle some readers. After all, the events it recounts may seem completely unbelievable and far beyond reality. Therefore, I'm grateful to Dr. Kagan for asking me to write this foreword because it gives me an opportunity to talk about one of my favorite subjects, the incredible world of ancient Greek philosophers. The average American will probably find Dr. Kagan's narrative of her otherworldly adventures with a deceased brother hard to believe. That is too bad, though, because the Greek philosophers who founded Western thought knew full well about the remarkable phenomenon she describes. In fact, Greek philosophers even had a name for the people who were somehow suspended between this life and the next life. They called such people walkers between the worlds. All right, and it goes on more about that. This foreword is written by Dr. Raymond Moody, who many of you will have heard of. And so there's acknowledgments, part 1, Still Billy. And it talks about how he starts to, well, first it talks about how he passed. And then it talks about how he first came to communicate with his sister. All right. Again, folks, that's my 2 for you book review. The first one, Don't Call Them Ghosts. The Spirit Children of Fontaine Manse, a true story by Kathleen McConnell. And The Afterlife of Billy Fingers, How My Bad Boy Brother Proved to Me There's Life After Death by Annie Kagan. Now, folks, I recommend both of these books highly. I think they're excellent. If you enjoyed this review, please give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. There's a lot to look at besides book reviews. I have tarot deck reviews, oracle deck reviews, tarot and oracle readings, timeless readings for you. I have a 10-lesson series on how to read tarot cards and lots of other videos about different methods of divination. So I invite you to subscribe. It's completely free for you, and it helps me out a whole lot. I'd like to thank you for being with me today. I appreciate you so much more than I can even say. I appreciate you so much. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever it is where you are, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.